Здравствуйте. Не
Здравствуйте.
часто в наш город провинциальный заезжают прям послы, поэтому спасибо большое, что вы согласились на интервью.
Мгм.
Расскажите, какая главная цель визита в Петропавловск и как вам наш город, что понравилось, какие люди у нас и,
Мгм.
может быть, что-то вас удивило?
So I've come to Petropavel primarily this time to open a new center here at the library, at the North Kazakhstan Library. It's a makerspace, which is for young people to have the opportunity to explore their creativity and learn new skills in science, engineering, technology, mathematics, and so on. And this makerspace is located as part of an American corner that we've had here in Petropavel for, I think, almost 15 years, almost 20 years, almost 20 years. And so I came here for the official opening of the makerspace. But while I'm here, I have a chance to do some other visits and see some other things. I'm also I will be meeting with the Akim a little later. Earlier today, I was at Kozabayev University, where we met with the rector and then met with students. The students we met with are in a joint degree program between the University of Arizona and Kozabayev University, which now has been going for 3 years. And those students will eventually get a degree not only from Kozabayev, but also from Arizona University, which will be a great thing for them, I think, and they're getting a really good education. So we visited the university to learn how that program is going. In general, I love your city. It's a wonderful place, especially today. It's so beautiful. The weather is nice. We're out and under the trees. But this is my second time in Petropavel, and I really enjoy meeting people here. People have been so welcoming, so hospitable, so warm. I will come back. It's a great place.
Thank you. Господин посол, какие вы видите в ближайшее время перспективы направления сотрудничества между нашим регионом, Северо-Казахстанской областью, и США? Вот у нас, например, многие молодые люди, подростки, прям мечтают поехать в Америку, там,
Mm,
выиграть грин-карту, возможно, приехать жить или учиться хотя бы в США.
mm.
Есть ли такие возможности? Вообще, какие перспективы есть у наших людей?
So there are definitely opportunities for people in general, and especially young people, to visit the United States, even to study in the United States. It's not the easiest thing to achieve, but it is possible. We do have exchange programs where the U.S. Embassy sponsors students going to the U.S. We have a program called Flex, which sends high school students to the U.S. for a full year to study in an American high school and live with an American family. We have university programs that provide for scholarships. And we also have professional exchanges that for business people or scientists or government officials sometimes. So we do a lot of that, but I also say that, it's possible to visit as a tourist, and many people from Kazakhstan go for a week, for 2 weeks to see the United States. You do have to get a visa to do this, of course, and we understand the process is sometimes complicated. We try to make it as user friendly as possible, but there are requirements that we have to use. And the important thing, and I guess maybe this is a message to those who apply for visas, is that you have to be able to show that you don't intend to stay and work outside the parameters of the visa. Because when we issue a visa for somebody to visit as a tourist, they should go as a tourist, not as somebody who stays and works. But understanding that, absolutely, there are possibilities for people to come. And I also want to say that kind of exchange of people in both directions, Americans coming here, Kazakhs going to the U.S., is to me one of the most important things we can do to build the relationship between our two countries. I truly believe that the strongest relationships between countries are based on people-to-people ties, those linkages, because people like me, we come and go. I'm here for a few years. I'm a diplomat. Government officials talk to each other, then they leave and go on to some other job. But it's these relationships that will last into the future.
Господин посол, вы знаете, что наш регион, он приграничный, и у нас очень тесные связи с Российской Федерацией. У многих наших людей там живут дети, учатся. Мы зависим от импорта российской продукции. Но сейчас, конечно, все эти экономические взаимодействия, в том числе, осложняются антироссийскими санкциями. Вот как вы видите, есть ли какие-то угрозы для нашего Северного Казахстана, в принципе, в геополитике? Как ситуация будет развиваться в дальнейшем? И насколько это зависит от результатов выборов в Америке? Потому что мы вот здесь сделали опрос на улице, и есть мнение у людей, что если, допустим, президентом станет Трамп, то тогда он сможет остановить то противостояние, которое сейчас, тот военный конфликт, который есть между Россией и Украиной, и, соответственно, всем будет лучше, то есть мир, это будет хорошо для всех. Как вы думаете, как вы видите впереди эту ситуацию?
Yeah. Well, this is a complicated question because there's lots of different aspects to it, but I'll try to deal with some of them. So, first of all, it's very important to stress that the U.S. recognizes that Kazakhstan must have good relations with its neighbors, especially its big, close neighbors. And there's no reason why it shouldn't continue to have trade and people going back and forth to Russia, as well as China and other bordering countries. That's important for Kazakhstan, and we fully respect that. The sanctions that were adopted after Russia's unjustified and we would say illegal invasion of Ukraine, those sanctions are not aimed at Kazakhstan. We have tried in every way possible to mitigate, to lower the impact on Kazakhstan of those sanctions. But we also we understand that they have an effect, that there are some spillover effects. We worked very closely with the government of Kazakhstan to make sure that they understand the rules and the laws of these sanctions and how they operate. And again, to try to find ways to lessen the impact. I will say that we've been very grateful to our partners in Kazakhstan for the position that's been taken by your country. Your president has been very clear that Kazakhstan, while it's not imposing sanctions on Russia, it will not violate the international sanctions and will not allow itself to be used as a way to avoid or circumvent those sanctions. So we're very appreciative of that, and we have constant communication with your government officials about how the sanctions are going, how they apply, and how they affect Kazakhstan. I think, you asked about the election in the U.S., and you said people are speculating what the effect might be if one or another candidate wins. I would say, I've been in the government, the U.S. government now for 27 years, working at the State Department. I've served through 5 administrations, starting with Clinton, Bush, Obama, Trump, and Biden. 3 Democrat and 2 Republican. And what I've noticed through all those years is much more continuity than change. In other words, the policy stays pretty much the same, regardless of who's in the White House, when it comes to this region. And I think the reason for that is that the United States decided many years ago that it was very important for our national interests, for the countries of Central Asia, countries of the former Soviet space, to be independent and sovereign and to have territorial integrity, that their borders wouldn't change. And we've devoted our policy in all those years towards that goal, to supporting countries in their independence, sovereignty, and territorial integrity. That's why we've supported Ukraine so strongly, because Russia completely violated all of those things: territorial integrity, independence, and sovereignty, trying to take over another country, their neighbor, and unfortunately unleashing horrible suffering on the part of the civilian population of Ukraine. So we will stand with Ukraine. We will continue standing with Ukraine, and we will continue standing with Kazakhstan as it tries to develop its sovereignty and independence and maintain it. So whoever wins the election in the United States, my expectation is that our policy won't change very much at all.
Вы сегодня были в университете, и как вот сейчас, спустя время, вы видите, оправдались ли ожидания сотрудничества университета из Аризоны с нашим, и какие перспективы впереди?
Yes, I did have a chance to visit the university today and to talk to students which I really wanted to do, the students who are in the program, the joint degree program. And I asked them, how has the program changed since you started? Some of these students have been in the program for 3 years. And what I heard was that there have been adjustments made to improve it, especially the English knowledge, English acquisition that they need to do. Because, of course, these students, in order to get a degree from Arizona University, they need to develop a certain level of English, proficiency in English. So the program is improved each year. I think they're perfecting it. The students also told me that they're grateful that they've had a chance to learn from Arizona University professors who've come here and taught some classes. Many of them are excited about the possibility to go for one semester to Arizona, to Tucson, where the University of Arizona is located. So there was a lot of excitement, and I was happy to see that. I think there's great prospects for the future. You asked about future prospects. I know that the rector of the university is exploring a lot of other collaborations with Arizona and even other institutions. For example, our U.S. Department of Agriculture is giving a grant for developing research on agricultural productivity that the university will be part of. They'll be part of a consortium that will do research on agriculture. We know Petropavlov is an agricultural region, grows a huge amount of food that feeds Kazakhstan and the rest of the world, really. And so it's important for the university to play a part in developing that. And if Arizona can help in that, that's fantastic. So I'm real excited about it. And, I hope that I can come back in 5 years or 10 years and see all the graduates of that program making a huge contribution to your region and to your country.